Hello and welcome to this edition of Diaspora Central Spotlight. I am Gil Ingles, and with us today, ladies and gentlemen, here in the building, yes, it's the radical black girl, the founder and CEO of their organization, and of course, as you all know, she is destined to shine. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Destiny Polk.
Woo-hoo.
Welcome.
Thank you for the introduction. It's great to be here.
It's always look. Finally, we made this thing happen.
We did.
I wasn't losing hope, but I was like, this thing taking too daggone long.
It's been some time in the making, but no better time than the present.
Right, almost a year. I was like, this is too.
Has it really been?
Yeah, it's like.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Destiny, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me at Diaspora Central.
Oh, nah, it's always a pleasure. You are a woman that is definitely ruffling feathers, making a point, creating a point, making folks comfortable and uncomfortable with a purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we know that doesn't just start with you.
No.
Yeah.
It is a larger movement.
Mm-hmm.
Radical Black Girl is a movement that has expanded beyond just me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny that you say that I'm ruffling feathers. I feel
Right.
like I'm a lot more tame than I used to be
Oh,
in my
really?
younger years.
Oh, it was worse than that?
I mean, what do you think that I'm doing that's so controversial right now?
No. I mean, I'm not saying that what you're doing is so controversial. It's not. I mean, controversy is good, and what I'm saying is not even. It's just being radical. And when I say, here's what I want people to understand: there are people sometimes who just use the word radical because it's a word to be used.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
different
let's talk about
when
it then.
you are radical and do radical things.
Yeah.
And one of those, and let me start this with the accolade that, in all honesty, is the essence of what, in my perspective, you are. You are a person who's actually pushing forward a movement that believes that all things are possible and possible on you.
Yeah.
You terms, you time, you way of doing. Creatively, intellectually, you devoting yourself to those things, regardless of what the rest of the world is moving on, how it is moving. You focused on that one mission of the things that you are doing. And eventually, other people start to catch on. Because, in all honesty, 95% of the time, we tend to discount the ones that we tend to think that they are at a standstill. But yet they moving with a purpose. But since we don't understand the purpose, we think that they're just at a standstill. But they're actually moving. Both of your, I would say, initiatives are those kind of initiatives. They're initiatives that they're not really out there for clout. They're not really out there for yay. It's just that when you feel them when they move.
Right.
When you do your shows, everybody's like, oh, okay. And then you go back into standstill mode, and it's almost like you disappear, and all of a sudden be like, bam, then again.
Pop out again.
Yeah, on top of that, you national, like Houston, Boston, Houston, you all over the place. So that in itself is a good thing. So when I use the word radical really to describe you, is that level of radicalism. And very few people know that you even, in essence, do a lot of the creative and the editing and post work on the things that you put out there. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Gil.
And very well done.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And just you bringing up the use of the word radical. When I started Radical Black Girl 9 years ago, I was actually told, I was taking an entrepreneurship class when I was building out the business plan and thinking about the target audience and all that stuff, right? And someone told me that I shouldn't use the name Radical Black Girl. And that was the first but not the last time that
Okay.
I've got pushback from using
Wow.
that title. I've heard it's inflammatory. I've heard that it would close doors for me, that there would be people that wouldn't support it, that it would pigeonhole me, but I still stuck with it.
Right.
And I think since 2020
Right.
and the Black Lives Matter movement and a lot of the initiatives that came out of that movement was when the word radical became
Right.
more popular
Yeah.
and almost more so like a buzzword that people would just put in front of whatever they're doing
Right.
to make it seem like they're doing something revolutionary.
Right.
You know, but people don't really think about what does the term really mean and where does it really come from.
Yeah.
And the word radical, the root of the word, literally means rooted. So when you think of something or someone who is radical in their thinking, my interpretation of that is that they're aiming to address issues from the root
Gotcha.
of the cause, right?
Yeah.
So we're not just thinking about the things that we see on the surface,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Those things can change, but
Indeed.
really when we get to the root of issues
Right.
and the root of who we are as a people
Yeah.
in the diaspora, that's what it means to be radical.
Right. The redefinition, for those of you that did not know what radical was, I'll tell you what, part of the reason why I liked your name is also because, and I got to give this shout out to Doreen Rainey. She actually has an institute called the Radical Institute, and she does a radical conference for women. She started that in the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember exactly when. And it's now a big, huge, grown movement. I mean, this conference brings in people like Steve Harvey, Jillian Michaels, and to name a few, the lady from Shark Tank. I can't remember her name now. But I mean, oh gracious, a lot of financial wizards and all these individuals that are influential in the community. So
And
it's
I
a
remember
big
you telling
conference.
me about
Yeah,
that
it's
conference.
someone that, in all honesty, I think you guys need to connect. I
I
really
would love that.
Yeah,
You know,
she's
I think you got
yeah.
to be the one to make that connection.
Yeah, she's currently based in Atlanta, but it would be good if at some point. So if Doreen, if you probably listening to this conversation, both of you really hold me accountable for this to make this,
Okay.
to make this connection, because I think it would be valuable for both of you guys. But we all know that it normally doesn't start with us. You root it, and you root it somewhere, and that root normally starts with the family. So can we talk a little bit about your family?
Sure.
Yeah, let's start with family. Mom, pop, where were you born? Siblings. Yeah.
Yeah. So while I was waiting with one of the other guests, she was asking me a little bit about my family history. So
Yeah.
my mom's side of my family is from Boston,
Okay.
and my dad's side is from Houston.
Okay.
My mother's lineage is Eastern Band Cherokee,
Okay.
that migrated from North Carolina
Okay.
to Boston, and that was during the Trail of Tears.
Okay.
So if you know about that time in American
Right.
history when a lot of indigenous groups were moved west,
Right.
very few moved north,
Right.
and so that was my family.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been in Boston for over a century.
Mm.
And I also have roots from my mother's father's side, from Florida,
Yeah.
by way of Jamaica. So they
Oh.
they came from Jamaica to Florida to Boston.
Wow.
And then my dad's side is a lot of my family is in Houston still,
Gotcha.
by way of Louisiana
Okay.
and Texas. Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of have a little bit of the Gulf, a little bit of the Northeast. Of course, I mean, I shouldn't say just Northeast, because during the Trail of Tears, they moved throughout
Yeah,
a
so
lot
just
of
the
Eastern
Coast.
state.
Yes,
Yeah.
East
Yeah,
Coast
the
a
east of
lot.
the Appalachian.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Now, siblings.
Mm-hmm.
How many siblings do you have?
There's 10 of us.
10 of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I have 14.
Mother and father, both,
It's
or just
all mixed. I come
okay.
from a blended family.
Okay.
So
Okay.
half siblings, step siblings, but they're all my siblings.
Okay,
you know.
so you said 10 or 14?
10 siblings, 14 nieces and nephews.
Oh, wow. 10 siblings. Wow. Yeah, big family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where do you fall in those 10?
I am my mother's youngest daughter.
Okay.
And my father's oldest daughter.
Oh, wow.
But I have a lot of brothers.
Okay, so, okay. Got you. Yeah, because see, when you say blended families, a lot of people, so blended families will be a family in which both individuals may already have children, then they get
and
together,
then they get married,
and then they still have children together. Right. Okay, so then that's just for those of us that probably don't know what a blended family is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, schooling.
Yeah.
Because you grew up in
Massachusetts.
Yeah. So schooling, so what school did you go to? At what point was that radicalism started to leak out of you?
Oh, that's a good question. So I went to public school up until 5th grade.
Okay.
And then I went to a program called Stepping Stone, which helps inner city kids transition into private schools.
Right.
So from 6th to 8th grade, I went to a predominantly white private school, Meadowbrook School of Weston.
There you go.
And I think that's where my radicalism probably started, because I was the one of 3 black girls in my grade, coming from a bus from Boston into Weston,
Right.
Massachusetts was probably like an hour away every day.
Every day. 5 days a week. Yeah.
And so, yeah, my background was different than most of the other kids in my grade and in the school period.
Right.
And so I didn't shy away from the fact that I was different. I didn't shy away from my background or my upbringing. And so I used to actually write poems inspired by Martin Luther King Jr.'s speeches.
Wow.
And so from 6th grade on, I actually was already like doing public speaking. Like I would be reading these poems in front of the whole school.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of a rule breaker.
Radical.
Yeah, when it came to like dress code, I was always kind of pushing the boundaries of what was allowed. And and I remember my 8th grade year, they tried to make a rule about, so we couldn't wear jeans, but I was wearing colored denim.
Oh, wow.
So I had all different colors, purple, yellow, red. And at the time that was like cool.
Cool. Okay.
And so that year they tried to make a rule that no colored denim allowed. And I protested it because I was like, some of us have already bought our school clothes for the year.
Right.
And it's not fair to require us to buy new clothes because of this new change.
And you were like 12, 13 years old?
Yeah, I was like 12, 13.
Yeah,
and
radical.
So because I pushed back on that, they had to resend their dress code change, and they allowed us to continue to wear colored denim that year.
Yeah. So. Wow. Changing the rules and making them fit.
Yeah.
Right. But it is necessary though. Right? Because if you get shoved into a position where you cannot perform at your best, and then you had a valid point, because for individuals coming from the communities, from other communities and from different backgrounds, you never know how financially the change of wardrobe could impact them.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And wow, 13 years old. She's protesting.
Yeah. And then for high school, I went to Milton Academy.
Okay.
Which is another prestigious international boarding school.
Okay.
And same thing. I was speaking in front of all school assemblies, and when I want to say I was 16, I got a summer job. I think even before that, like learning about arts advocacy.
Okay.
That was the first time I heard that term, like how to use art
Right.
as a way to advocate for things in your community that you care about.
Right.
So we learned different tools about that, and flash mobbing,
Right.
like intervening the everyday,
Yeah. Normalcy.
normalcy to bring attention to
Right.
something in the community.
Yeah.
And then we learned, we went to the State House and as youth advocates for things that we cared about.
Right.
And then I was a part of an organization called Project Hip Hop,
Okay.
which hip hop stood for Highways into the Past, History, Organizing, and Power. And that was a really transformative time in my life. I think that was like between my junior and senior year.
Yeah.
Learned so much just about myself, about my roots, about how much art can be used as a tool
Right.
for social change. And then we went on a civil rights tour
Okay.
across, I think, like 12 states.
Wow.
And was able to actually go to these historic places. And yeah, I think that changed, like solidified to me, like what I really wanted to do with my art.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, and that's one part of you that, of course, during the introduction I didn't bring up is your ability to create and create with anything. But let's take our first break. Let's go take a look at some of the great content that you actually sometimes, all the time I should say, some of the great content that you put together, some of the
okay.
creative things that you actually have, and we'll be right back.
Okay, cool.
She, Tupac's rose that rose through concrete, born to a woman who awakened with the sun, whose hands held together crumbling towers, who did not know rest, but was sister to sacrifice. She was given the gift of a chance to know more than poverty, eviction, shame of incarceration and instability. She grew to challenge anything she put her mind to, despite the shadows of doubt whispered around her. She, like us, whole lotta black girl with attitude in the curl of her lip, slant in her hip, sting on her tongue, and a wisdom to keep it moving. She was a seed, blowing with the leaves, escaped a windy city to find her footing on bitter Boston streets. And it seemed she was one step closer to the American dream, pursuing her degree, until someone, selfish and incomplete, attempted to snatch a magic that was rightfully hers, perpetuating what we already know to be an attack on women and girls.
And we are back. If you just joined us, you are now tuned into Diaspora Central Spotlight, and our guest today is Destiny, Miss Destiny Polk, the radical lady, the creative.
Hey.
Yeah. But no, your publishing company though, that's really one Destined To
Shine Publishing.
Shine Publishing. You mentioned starting to write poetry very early.
From a young age, yeah. I've been writing since I was 8, writing poetry. And I was actually working on my first book of poetry by the time I was in middle school.
Okay.
As an independent project, because
Wow.
I've always been
Yeah.
very independent, make my own rules type of person.
And I'll tell you a secret. That's what I like about you. Honestly, that's the one thing that honestly makes me like you is that level of independence for a young person to just be that fearless and that have that belief in self, that confidence of knowing that, you know what, if I push it, I can make it happen. That's amazing. But go on. Sorry.
Thank you.
That-
I
that
just
was
want to
me.
say, like, in just to what you said, I think that aspect of the power of creation, of manifestation, to say, I would like to do this thing, I want to do this thing, and then doing it is the thing that makes me feel closest to God, because that's where my confidence lies in.
Right.
You know, it's deeper than just self-confidence or
Indeed.
ego,
Yeah.
but it's more so like, if we are created in the image of the ultimate creator, then there's no lack there.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
if it can be done, then it will be done.
Indeed.
But yeah, so Destined to Shine Publishing actually is within the first year of its official creation.
Yeah.
But it actually, I think I've just been being prepared for this moment over time.
Wow.
As a writer myself, and then going to schools that just were really prestigious and had really strong English programs.
Right.
Kind of had grammar, I wouldn't say beaten into me. But it was drilled. Drilled into us, like, the importance of strong writing.
Was shoved. No, I'm playing. I'm just trying. Shock value.
Drilled.
Forget that.
I think drilled is a good one, because writers workshop. But yeah, so just always having an affinity for history and storytelling and writing from a young age. Yeah. And then let me see, when did I publish this book?
Yeah. I mean, for someone who's been writing since you 8, also there's a lot of content to be put into books.
Yeah, some of it is just like in archives right now. So this book,
yeah,
The Radical Black Girl's Guided Journal for Well-Being and Beyond, is my first published book, and this was published in 2022.
Okay.
And
that was your first publishing.
Yes, and this was
official under your.
No, this actually predates my publishing company.
Your company.
So I was just an independent author publishing this book.
So you just put it out.
I just put it out.
There was no official publishing company.
No, I mean, this is published by like an online company.
Right. I mean, but what I'm saying, though, from your perspective, you as an entity at that time, you're not yet the official publishing
I wasn't
company. You're just an author who found a publishing company, and you needed to publish that body of work. You did that.
And I made it happen.
Okay. But now you're bringing it back to your publishing company.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I'm working with, I think, at least 8 Black authors right now.
All right.
My goal is to get to 25.
There you go.
By the end of the year. So
there you go.
25 in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I published this guided journal for well-being. The summer of 2022 was just it was a hard time in this country. It was really weird. There were a lot of mass shootings happening across the country, and it almost back to back. And it was just strange, a very triggering time for people.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I think people just need a space where they can come back to themselves and create their own safe space and for their mental health and their well-being outside of the media, which was very triggering and at the time. So that was the push that I needed to finish, because a lot of some of the worksheets and activities in this book were things I had already had from doing like workshops and writing exercises that I would host at other spaces, but it was never like in one book.
Yeah. So you have always had that bit of I guess, an independent consultant, of a life coach, of a facilitator, and when I say assistant, I don't mean assistant in the sense of the secretary. I mean assistant, like in assisting someone to overcome some sort of a problem.
Right, through a process. Yeah, I would say
creative processes. I guess that would be. Yeah, you've always been a process creator.
Yes.
Yeah, a process engineer.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, you're a process engineer.
Yeah.
A creative processing engineer.
Yeah, even and I think because my first job as an educator, I was still in high school as a preschool dance teacher.
Wow.
I think at 16 years old, I
Yeah.
think. And so I think when you have the training in mind of an educator, and you go all the way back to how do I teach this 3-year-old
Right. How to do something.
how to do something? If you can teach a 3-year-old how to do something successfully,
Yeah.
then you can teach anybody how to break a process down
Yeah.
and build it back up again.
Indeed. But see, it's like throughout all this, though, I see one common note, which is your resourcefulness. You are very resourceful. Everything that you learn, you figuring out ways of actually applying it by creating, by somehow figuring out a way of, and I'm not sure whether you always capitalize on it, but somehow you use it to create a path that will lead you to a way in which you can later on somewhat capitalize.
Right.
And I'm just noticing that in every one of your moves has been there. You did that with dancing, you did that with writing, you're doing that with your other creative things. What exactly, in your opinion, you think that brought that or caused that, triggered that on you?
What caused my resourcefulness as a creative? A few things. One, well, I always have to give honor and thanks to my grandmother.
There you go.
She's still alive. Her name is Janetta Wiles.
Thank you. We like names at Diaspora Central. We love names. You know why that's important, right?
Because it's a part of your lineage.
Indeed.
Yeah. So shout out to Janetta Wiles, daughter of John O'Neill and Florida Natalie Wiles. She had this chest of art supplies when I was a child, and it had every possible thing that a child could want to create, from paint, colored pencils, construction paper, Play-Doh, pipe cleaners, pom-poms, whatever you could think of.
Yeah.
She had it.
Wow.
She would even recycle, like, the cardboard like tubes that are in the toilet paper.
Yes.
And in
Yes.
the paper towels.
Yeah.
She would recycle cardboard,
Right.
so that I could create towers, and she would recycle cardboard boxes so I could create makeshift doll houses and diaphragms and
There you go.
all types of stuff. Like, just my imagination would run wild.
Yeah.
And I think that having access to those materials and in even the recycled materials that led me to create new things, imagine new things, out of old things.
Yeah.
I never really thought about that in that way.
That deep.
Yeah, of training me to see the possibility in materials.
Yeah.
And then my family in general, like, has always been supportive of my creativity. They never made me feel like it was a waste of time, that it was a waste of my energy. My family growing up never made me feel like I couldn't do anything.
Got it. Did you give us your parents' names yet?
Oh, so my parents, I am the daughter of Renee Robinson and Johnny Polk.
Okay.
And yeah, so my mom, I think by the time I was in high school, my mom said, I support you being an artist. You just can't be a starving artist. So figure it out. So before I even graduated high school, my family had already kind of set this precedent or this standard that, okay, if this is what you want to do, you need to get paid for it.
Right.
You're good enough. So are they paying you?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, well, this is a good opportunity. They're like, that's cute. So are they paying you? And I think but that was
a
really
good manager.
Yeah, that was really good to establish that expectation. And so I just went into the world as a young adult already looking for opportunities that would pay me for my creativity. And if it didn't exist, then I was going to create it.
So mom was really the first manager.
Yeah.
So momager.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. She took me. She took me to my dance rehearsals and, you know, all of my dance recitals and performances. Yeah. And she made sure that every summer that I was involved in some type of arts camp programming. Like she kept me busy. She kept me in something that was related to what I said I wanted to do.
Now, coming from a family of 10, of course, did you always feel like you always had the audience somewhere not too far from you where you could actually
not actually
or the surrounding family members, friends?
Well, just because there's 10 of us doesn't mean I grew up with all of my siblings.
Okay.
So I really only grew up with my older sister in Boston. All of my other siblings were in Houston. Okay. But I did grow up around a lot of extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, things like that. And I don't know. In some ways, did I grow up with an audience as my family? Yes and no, because you know, family gatherings, if you're at a cookout, a party or something, and you know the kids, we might be dancing or, you know, we were put on some type of performance or I'm singing with my cousins or you know, stuff like that. But in terms of like actual performance and audience, for most of my life, from the time I was 5 and on, most of my audience were strangers. I was performing in front of large audiences, and most of them weren't my family.
So you were right out of the gate.
Yeah, on
from
stage,
the get-go.
performing. Like, people would buy tickets to come see the performances. I was a dancer in the Nutcracker from 5, and then I was just dancing and performing and speaking in front of large audiences the rest of my life.
Indeed, yeah, and it's good preparation.
Yeah,
it's good preparation.
Yeah,
it's good preparation. Gets you ready for the world, and of course, I mean, eventually you find yourself in a place like Houston, and which we're gonna find out how do you end up in Houston anyway. So let's take another break and take a look at some more of the great content that Destiny has out there. Because I'm sure that she's got a couple of other good stories to tell us, because after all, we just touched on a portion of it. We haven't even touched yet on your dancing. We haven't touched on your public speaking. We got plenty to go. So let's take a look at some of the great stuff that Destiny Polk has out there with either her company for her publishing company, which is
Destined To Shine Publishing,
or of course with her
Black Girl,
which is the movement. We'll be right back.
Sometimes I am stuck to a bed, in a room lit only by my undeniable insecurities. This room is blue-black in the bottom of a building with no owner, and always cold, alone. Squeezing my eyes shut to ignore the wall's glance, but my lids are murky water, and I see myself frozen in time. Even in my dreams, I am crippled by fear. A cold gust of air as heavy as sin blows into my body, and I swallow everything that I detest. My mind runs for the door with no knob 13 times, and then I am back in this bed. But this is not my bed. With a bright yellow comforter that swallows me in sunshine and lemongrass, I do not know how I got here. In these dirty sheets, with more memories of blood and sweat than I'd like to remember. Sleeping in a tub full of boiling water, wishing I could be the drain and drip away slowly, slowly.
And we are back. If you just joined us, we now tuned into Diaspora Central Spotlight. And of course, our guest today is Miss Destiny Polk, the radical black girl, the owner and CEO of
Radical Black Girl and Destined to Shine Publishing.
and Destined to Shine Publishing. Do you have a dancing company too?
Just myself.
You had one before.
Destiny Polk. I am the dancing company. I am the dancing company.
Yeah. And you also do a lot of PR.
I do.
Yeah, and production.
Mm-hmm.
So you normally run those efforts under which company?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
both. It depends on the project
Mm-hmm.
or the client, the collaboration.
Yeah.
So if it's more community facing,
Mm-hmm.
having to do with events and bringing
Mhm.
people together, then
Mhm.
I would do it under Radical Black Girl.
Okay.
Usually under like audience engagement or activation or something like that. And then, or just media partnerships.
Mhm.
Like the media partnership that I have with the SET Institute. Shout
There
out
you
to
go.
the SET Institute
Yeah.
in Houston. And then if it's PR that's surrounding like a book, then
Mhm.
obviously then that would go under Destined to Shine Publishing.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah, and talking about collaboration, of course, that's something that is very, very important, especially when we're talking about communities, right?
Yeah.
And at a time like this, where a lot of sources of income that were based on federal grants for creatives are being cut off,
Talk about it.
right? So the community has to stand on its own
Yeah.
to keep some of these programs going.
Yeah.
From your perspective, is it I mean, I don't want to ask you if it is a good thing or a bad thing, because I think we all know what it is. But from your perspective, is it even necessary?
Yeah. I have two responses.
Okay.
So first response is to say that a country or a government that invests in the education, the arts and culture of their nation is a progressive and a healthy country. And so a country that actively chooses to dismantle systems and funding that support education, arts, and culture, which is the fabric of a people, a country that does not, like literally divests in that, is not healthy. It's not a healthy place to be. It's not honoring of its people and the cultures that make up what this country is.
Right.
So on one side, I would say America is losing by divesting in what makes us our strongest, which is our culture, our technology,
Right.
all the things that continue to tell and empower people to tell their stories and to create that togetherness.
Right.
So, boo, that sucks. And on the other side of that,
Right.
Personally, I'm not affected by the lack of funding, but I know organizations and people that work within those organizations
Right.
that are. And yeah, so it does cause people to be that much more resourceful and creative and
Right.
thinking outside of the box and to be less reliant on federal funding.
Right.
And it's something that has been a priority for me for years, is establishing an ecosystem
Right.
that is independent of those levels of
Anything.
funding.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my ecosystem.
Self-sufficient.
Yeah. My
system.
ecosystem is black.
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But I worked and intended for that, and it's taken years
Right.
and intention and building relationships
Right.
for that to be the case.
Yeah.
But if somebody hasn't been preparing for that and spending those years and establishing those relationships, then they would feel like the rug has been pulled
From under
them, because where are their other relationships?
Right.
You know.
Yeah. And of course, you know, there are those who also say, and I'm personally one of those individuals who believes that some of the greatest things in America have actually come due to times like this. When you look at the blues, that ended up becoming this worldly known style of music, hip hop, right?
Came out of a time of
right of
destruction,
yes,
of lack,
yeah,
of
and creatively, it's like, so creatively as people, I think that surviving it is not a problem, but of course, it's probably a biased opinion coming from me, because in America, I grew up in a self-sufficient black community, right? In a self-sufficient community, I
Which
even
is?
should put it that way, which is in Indian Head, Maryland, in Fort Washington,
Okay.
Indian Head, right off of Highway 210. It's a self-sufficient community. I shouldn't say black community. It's really a self-sufficient community, whether black, white, or whatever. That community is self-sufficient. So it survives on its own if needed be, with no problems at all. Really, that's how sufficient that community has been. So for me, I would say I'll probably be biased, right? Because I guess I have somewhat been prepared.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily biased, because that's your lived experience,
Right.
you know. And I think what we can do is to share our lived experience to the communities that we live in now,
Right.
and try to replicate the things that are working for
Right.
communities that are still currently self-sustaining.
Indeed.
You know. And one of the things I just wanted to say about this idea of dependency versus interdependence, or you know, co-working with your community, is just thinking about, there's this the pyramid of like our human needs. And unfortunately, there's a large percentage of the U.S. population, and not just black, that live below the poverty line. And because of that, they're still focusing on basic survival, which is the bottom
Right.
of the pyramid,
Right.
right? And the higher up this pyramid of needs we get is things like innovation.
Right.
And if you're focusing on how you're going to eat today,
Yeah. You can.
and if you're going to keep your lights on,
Yeah.
and if you're going to keep a roof over your head, where do you have the mental capacity
You don't. You can't.
to think about
Yeah.
innovating,
Yeah. You can't.
to think about living, you know, green?
Right. Yeah. You can't. That's actually how oppressive. I mean, a lot of oppressive states. That's how they are able to manage.
That's how we live
To stay.
in a current political climate where executive orders can be pushed and federal programs can be defunded and people can be losing their jobs
Right.
and people can be forcefully deported and all of these things that are happening. And because these decisions are being made at such a high level, while many of the average American population are still focused on the basic necessities
Right.
And so there's really not much time to strategize, to organize, and already have these systems in place. And then the systems that are in place, because there are organizations that are in place. Fortunately, there still are some elected officials that are doing their job to push back. But they're in overdrive.
Yeah.
There's no time to breathe and to think about anything else other than it's fight, you know? And so all of that being said, the way that my radical life is set up is such in a way that I wake up and I get to decide, what do I want to create? Out in spite of
what's going on,
everything that we just talked about, in spite of the fact that there are nonprofit organizations that have lost a huge amount of their funding. I'm not a nonprofit. I work with nonprofits. But the movement that has been created around me functions in a way that it's not stifled by those types of decisions. Because if there's a way, we're gonna make it happen.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah. Now, is that maybe the opportunity to probably prepare? Because I mean, everything moves in cycles, right? Everything moves in cycles. Okay, that's the downward cycle. So eventually we'll start coming back upwards. But once it gets upward, people gotta be ready, right? Because once you cross that zero mark, you're now on the up.
Yeah.
What is it that communities need to do? Education, vocational programs, additional community programs, I don't know, workshops on how to be family. I don't know. I mean, what can be done?
Yeah, the first step for any individual, I would say, is building up your spiritual resilience and power. And that takes time, and it's hard, and I'm not gonna say it's easy when you have all of these things happening on the outside, right? Where we're seeing planes falling from the sky and, war, all these things that are happening and unfortunately have been happening. It's not new. It's just where we put our attention and focus, then kind of like replays the reality that we perceive that we're living in, if that makes sense. And so I think the first step is to really reclaim your individual identity that's outside of what the world and the media would want you to believe about yourself. And so some of that is quiet. Solitude. Unplugging from the loudness of the world, so that you can actually hear yourself and your thoughts and get in tune with whatever your understanding of source, energy, creator, I am is, and begin to think and write and plan from that place. But that takes practice, especially if your go-to mentality is a mentality of lack or survival, or being pushed to have to make almost like quick irrational decisions. And so the first step is to counter that, and to try to be rooted in practice sovereignty within yourself. And I don't think that's something that we talk about a lot. It's like, what does it actually mean to be sovereign? Because a lot of people that are Black American and even other groups that have come into this country, we don't really have a sovereignty. There's no sovereign nation of African people in this country. We're all just kind of engulfed in this overarching system, right? But what does it mean to like be a sovereign being? To know that in this moment I am safe, which is not always the case,
Right.
but that I am safe, that I have the ability to think for myself, that I have the ability to establish these things that I would like to do. And then it's, I mean, it's research.
Right.
Whatever you could possibly need or think of in terms of information or connection is out there.
Yeah.
And despite, you know, all the things that we're talking about of making things harder, like it's still out there.
Yeah.
And we have more access now than before.
Right.
You know? So yeah, if I had to, and maybe that's the next book.
There you go.
Where, how do we prepare
Right.
for
Good times.
good times
Yeah. in
the bad times?
Yeah. How to survive bad times to be prepared for good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because 2020 was not a good time.
Right.
But now we're in 2025. And for me, it's a good time.
There you
But that's because I had to go through the preparation.
Indeed.
I had to go through the isolation.
Yeah.
I had to go through the prayer. I had to basically lose everything
Wow.
and build all over again,
Wow.
you know, to be even more rooted in who
Yeah.
I am, even
Indeed.
more confident to speak how I speak, and to have, you know, manifested even another vision that was given to me, you know. So
Yeah. Now, were you already in Houston around that time? When exactly do you come to Houston?
I moved to Houston. Moved is a very light way to put it.
Yeah.
But I came to Houston in 2020, August of 2020.
Okay. So you came in right around, so the pandemic was on.
Was still happening, yeah.
Okay. Now, you say, you make it sound like you were forced to come to Houston.
I was.
You were. Okay.
Yeah, I was
Is it-
living out of the country. I was living in Belize
Okay.
for almost half a year, 5.5 months.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
During COVID, because I was stuck there.
Wow.
That's the hope. We're going to have a part 2.
That's our part 2 for this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. The experience, how to survive in Belize for how many months?
5.5 months.
For 6
during
months.
a global pandemic.
During a
During a global
That's it.
pandemic
Yeah.
with
That-
no family
that
or
i-
friends.
indeed.
As a black woman.
Indeed, that is definitely another conversation.
Yeah.
But of course, you have a whole bunch of other great things going on. Of course, even with your initiatives. What is up and coming? What is it that people need to know about Destiny?
Yeah, I would say Destined To Shine Publishing has some really exciting projects that are coming out, rolling out through the rest of this year. So I do want to shout out this book,
Okay.
Hip Hop Leadership by Paul Willis.
Okay.
And published by Destined To Shine Publishing.
Mm-hmm.
So that book just was released. We had the book launch
Okay.
April 29th, I think.
Gotcha.
And so that is still for sale at hiphopleadershipbook.com.
Okay.
So please support that. Many more things to come with that in terms of like taking it on tour and going to other states with it.
Are they Houston based? Where are they based?
So Paul Willis is actually based in Boston.
He's based in Boston.
Yes,
Okay.
and it is currently for sale at the oldest black-owned bookstore in Boston.
Okay.
So shout out to Frugal Bookstore for putting their book on their putting this book on their shelf.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a series, a children's book series coming out.
Okay.
So shout out to Nursery Grooves for their children's book series that we're working on. I can't say that one yet. She hasn't made the announcement.
Okay.
There's a photo book series. It's a 3-volume photo book series coming out called Afro-Centered Color Series.
Okay.
And it's just capturing blackness in all of its different variations and
Gotcha.
colors. And so really excited. I have like a 10-year relationship with that photographer. So to be working on her work is really exciting.
Wow. Nice.
Let's see. Oh, we did publish AI is the New Underground Railroad.
Okay.
And that is written by Alan Thornton. He's in Houston.
Okay.
Mr. 40 Acres.
And the book is already
So he
I think I know him.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does the 40 Acres
The 40
Conference.
Acres Conference. Yeah. We have actually interviewed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he has a book. He has a book coming.
So his book is
Okay.
it's a 300-page textbook on utilizing AI
Right.
to 10x your returns on your business.
There you go. So when is it that we bring in some of these books over to our SET Institute to put them in the Pan-African Library shelves?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, well, I got some copies. I'll bring them over.
Yeah. Well, we don't. No, that's not it. We do official things. We don't.
Yeah,
just
we
bring
gotta
the
have
copies in.
some.
We gotta do the
author
whole
talks,
thing. Yeah.
some
Exactly.
signings,
Exactly.
some
So-
readings.
So I think it's about time now. The Destined to Shine puts together that one event to bring some of their writers
Together.
in Houston, Texas, at the Pan African Library, so that we can go ahead and get those books in the shelf.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, and so one of the things that is coming up soon is I'm actually doing a publishing boot camp.
Okay.
So I just did a publishing workshop in Boston.
Okay.
It was free, open to the public, and it was a really great turnout. Some
Right.
really excited future authors
Okay.
came to the table.
Right.
And so I had some people from Houston be like, hey, like, when are you going
What
to do
about
one
us?
here?
Right.
And I was like, I'll be right back. So
Yeah,
I think that would be a great thing to bring to SET as well, is just to have a introductory workshop to people that have a book
Right.
and just need that extra
Yeah.
push
Indeed.
or that extra guidance to make it happen. And
Right.
that's what I'm here for.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people can always get in touch with you. What are the handles, the URLs?
So if you would like to get in touch with me around anything art, activism, community organizing, events, anything in the arts, you can reach me at Radical Black Girl on Instagram, or also on Facebook. I think it's like Radical Black. If you Google Radical Black Girl,
There you
you will
go.
find me. And then anything relating to publishing, you can find me at Destined To Shine Publishing on Instagram. And then if you want to reach me directly, it's contact at dtsprintpublishing.com.
Yeah.
And I will be looking forward to doing all the things. I'm open for collaborations now that I
There you
finished
go.
this big project that I was working on the
Right.
first quarter of the year. I am open to working on new things.
Okay, and there you have it. I mean, someone who's resourceful, someone who knows how to, how can I say, assist or engage, guide, collaborate. It's available, so make use of that opportunity, and of course, don't waste people's time now. Come with real projects. I'm
Right?
acting like I'm
The manager.
the buffer, the manager here. I'm
real
buffering.
projects with real budgets.
Yeah, exactly. Because you heard, it's cute, but how much does it pay?
Yeah.
We must know, but because of course, if you need something free to do, you can always come to Diaspora Central Spotlight, and you can just come out here and share your story for free. Yeah, we still do it for free until she starts managing it. Then you're gonna have to pay. But I'm kidding. But Destiny, it's been a great pleasure having you here with us.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, remember that this is home for you, so anything that we can do for you, always feel free to come through. And for those of you that took a little bit of time out of your busy schedules to join us, I just want to say thank you for doing so, because I know that time is valuable. So until next time, remember, believe in yourself, believe that God made you to be who you need to be. Until next time, peace.